Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Katie, Mr. and Mrs. Coelho, Chief Justice Robinson, distinguished guests. My name is Judge John Blowie, and I am the administrative judge here for the Stamford-Norwalk Judicial District. I started in that capacity 1 month ago when the new court term began. We follow something like the school year here in the justice system, where we begin anew every Labor Day. So this occasion today marks my first time that I have the chance to speak publicly in my position as AJ, and I can think of no greater honor than to be asked to address you here today as such. I had the unique privilege of working with Jonathan in 2 different courthouses, and all 3 of his different roles in the Judicial Branch, roles that he fulfilled so capably. I also lived in Newtown for 25 years, and Katie, you don't know this, but my oldest son, Jack, is your late husband's age, and he told me after he passed that he got to know him. He worked as a waiter at the Meeting House in Bethel, so we had that connection, which never even came up until Jonathan's passing made the paper. So I first met Jonathan, though, as a judge in Danbury, when he served as a judicial marshal about a decade ago. The Danbury courthouse is a lot smaller, and the staff is a lot more compact, so I got to know Jonathan as a marshal while we were there together. I have been a judge here in Stamford since 2014, and Jonathan was already working here as a bail commissioner when I started. And it was a pleasure to see him again after the passage of several years, and I remember congratulating him on his new role. And it was as a bail commissioner that I had frequent interactions with Jonathan. For those of you who may not be familiar with the process, the bail commissioners serve a very important function in the criminal justice system, because Jonathan was often present with me in the courtroom every day during the arraignment process, giving me the rundown on a defendant's history, making bond recommendations, as well as any other conditions of release. Once Jonathan became a probation officer, we had less frequent interactions, but I know that he really enjoyed his new job because it gave him a chance to use his people skills and his deep knowledge of the system and the various programs at his disposal to try to make a positive impact in the probationers' lives, to help try to reform them and stay out of the criminal justice system, hopefully, once they finish their periods of probation. Everyone here misses Jonathan. He was taken from us at the age of 32, much too soon. But Jonathan is one of those people of whom it can truly be said that he made the world a better place. To Jonathan's parents, and to you, Katie, our hearts go out to you, and to his beloved children, Braden and Penelope. You know, few things during our short time here on earth are set in stone, as the saying goes. But this beautiful granite bench that we're going to unveil in a few minutes, set on the grounds of this courthouse where he served so well and so admirably for so long, will serve as a permanent reminder of a tribute to a young man who touched so many lives. And to live in hearts that we leave behind is not to die. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Tyrone Abrahamian, the Deputy Director of the Court Support Services Division, to make a few remarks.
Good afternoon. I am Tyrone Abrahamian, Deputy Director of Adult Probation Operations, and I'm pleased to be here today to honor Jonathan's memory and his legacy as an adult probation officer. I did not have the pleasure of meeting Jonathan personally, but I've heard so many wonderful stories about Jonathan. Jonathan has been described as a wonderful human being, a loving husband, and a dedicated father. He put his family above everything else. Jonathan was also an outstanding probation officer. He knew in his role as a probation officer, he would have the opportunity to have a positive impact on the clients he worked with in the community he served. And he certainly did. Jonathan was fair, balanced, and genuinely cared about his clients' progress. He greeted his clients with a smile, that famous smile I've often heard about, and worked tirelessly to help his clients address their needs and improve their lives. He was also a role model for his peers and supervisors alike. He was truly adored by his colleagues, not only for his work ethic and his innate ability to connect with his clients, but for the way he carried himself. Jonathan set an example for all of us to follow, and he is deeply missed. I'm happy to be a part of today's ceremony to honor Jonathan and his legacy, and I want to thank Lorraine, Kalila, Michael, and the entire Stanford office for organizing today's ceremony. Thank you. And at this time, I would like to invite our Executive Director, Gary Roberge, for a few remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here today. Thank you, Judge Blowy, for hosting us here today and allowing us to have this ceremony. And I'd also like to thank the Chief Justice for being here today. Thank you, Chief Justice Robinson, and the Chief Court Administrator, who Katie couldn't make it, Mr. and Mrs. Coelho. He sends his regrets. He had a personal matter to attend to this afternoon, but he wanted you to know that he is here in spirit and heart, and he's sad that he was not able to make it today. And I do have to thank the Chief and Judge Carroll for all of their support the last 17 and 18 months, for CSSD as we went through this process, for the Stanford community here, and to the Coelho family, and to Katie and the kids. This is the last 14, 17 months have been tough on everybody, right? And there's been a lot of really tough days for a lot of people that are here in attendance. And the saying goes, time heals everything, right? Well, not enough time has passed, because I think every one of us still feel the sting, the hurt, and the pain of Jonathan's passing. And there's been a lot of really, really tough days. But today's a really good day. It's a celebration. It's a Memorial Day for Jonathan with the unveiling of the bench. And I also want to thank Lorraine and Kalila and Michael and the Stanford group for planning this. And it took us a while, but we got here. And we're here today on a beautiful fall day here in Connecticut to celebrate Jonathan. So I really appreciate your work on it. And I also want to thank Mark Ciccio and his group from CSSD that work in our administrative unit for obtaining the bench and getting it placed. You all did a tremendous job, so thank you for that. And again, thank you for being here today. I'm going to ask Katie if you would come up. I have a couple of presentations to you. Okay. So the first one is from our Chief Justice Robinson. Jonathan served as a dedicated adult probation officer for the state of Connecticut Judicial Branch. He helped keep our community safe while also assisting clients get back on their feet and have productive lives. His work truly made a positive difference and earned him the respect of his colleagues, his supervisors, clients, and residents of the communities he served so diligently. Jonathan's empathy, energy, and smile impressed everyone who met him, and he is missed deeply. Jonathan was that one-of-a-kind person no one will ever forget, and the Judicial Branch today both honors him and recognizes his significant contributions to the state of Connecticut, effective this first day of October 2021, signed Richard A. Robinson, Chief Justice. Thank you, Chief. And we also have this plaque here, which reads Probation Officer Jonathan Coelho. The Court Support Services Division of the State of Connecticut Judicial Branch installs this bench to commemorate the life and work of Jonathan Coelho, who served the division with dedication and integrity. May all who rest there remember his service to the community. Thank you, Kate.
I just want to thank everyone for thank you. I just want to thank everyone for coming. Kalila, Lorraine, for putting this together. Not too long ago, Jonathan's dad asked me who still calls. And the only people I could say were people he worked with. And I think that speaks to you as a branch, but also who Jonathan was as a person, that he touched you guys that much, that you still care. So thank you for doing this and giving my kids another thing that they can, when they grow up, I can show them, and they'll be able to say, like, my dad touched a lot of people. So, sorry. Thank you.
As Jonathan's supervisor, I'm here today on behalf of Jonathan's colleagues and friends in the Stamford Office of Adult Probation. We suffered a great loss when Jonathan died, and we share Katie's and his family's sadness. I first worked with Jonathan when he was a bail commissioner here, because his office was next to ours and our probation work overlapped, so we had daily contact. I experienced him to be reliable, steady, caring with his clients, and conscientious. I was thrilled when Jonathan, with his man bun hairdo, was assigned to me as a probation officer in my unit. One, because I knew he'd make my life easier with the quality of his work. And two, because I knew he would work hard for the welfare of his clients. Jonathan and I started our work days early. He was usually the first person I saw in the morning. We greeted each other as I walked past his office or when he came to my office to sign in. He and I shared some important personal milestones in the year and a half we worked together. We shared the birth of Penelope. We talked daily about Braden's development and about Katie's progress with the injury to her hand. As Katie's committed herself to keeping Jonathan's memory alive, we who worked with him are determined to honor Jonathan's life. Many of you are aware that last November we sponsored a drive for the food bank. Colleagues and friends contributed almost 1,600 pounds of food, $1,600 in online monetary contributions, and $380 in gift cards. In April of this year, in Jonathan's memory, we gave over $2,000 to the Liberation Program's Families in Recovery, the program for women with children. And we hope to continue to contribute to the community in his honor in other ways. So today's dedication of this bench is special and personal. It's personal in a way that we express our grief and we share our ongoing thoughts of how much Jonathan meant to us. In that vein, we ask that you pause for a moment of silence to reflect on Jonathan's life and on the life of the hundreds of thousands of others who've lost their lives because of this COVID virus, and especially to remember the suffering of their families. Thank you. And now I ask if you turn your attention to the Chief Probation Officer Kalila Wade and Regional Manager Lorraine Rodriguez as they unveil Jonathan's bench.